So you guys have been dating for 6 years.
Yep.
You guys are high school sweethearts.
Unfortunately.
Indeed.
Planning on getting married.
Once he puts a ring on it, yes.
Planning a proposal, man.
Do you guys ever get bored of each other?
No. Never.
No.
I was going to say never.
Well, it's like the same person every day. I mean,
No, well, I look at you, and it's like you go to bars, spend money, and you try to find women, or you try to find your one. It's like, I got lucky, and I got mine for free.
It was.
So basically, everyone, I'm not a prostitute.
Yeah. No, but like seriously, like you are still like spending your time, spending your money, and you're still trying to find the one for you.
I mean, I think
I feel bad for you. I
I've
really
been
do.
to bars like one time this school year. Like I really haven't been doing it a lot. I feel like college isn't a time, at least from my perspective, for relationships, just because there's just a lot going on with school and, you know, trying to build something that'll last beyond college, you know, business-wise. So I just don't really feel like it's a time for relationships. I think it's kind of a waste of time.
But there's something that can last longer than a business, and that's a relationship.
Yeah, I know that's true, but there's time to find a relationship after college, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I think, like, for me, like, yeah, there's that fun time of, like, oh, it's single, you're meeting new people, you're getting in that talking stage. Like, yeah, that's a lot of fun. But what's even more fun is meeting someone and knowing, like, this is the person I'm going to be with for the rest of my life, and we're going to challenge each other, we're going to build goals, and we're going to love each other and have a family. Like, there's something so amazing about that feeling, too, that I just feel like I got lucky.
Do you ever miss that single life, though, a little bit? Like, some small part of you?
I think it's not missing being single. It's, like, the fun part of, like, I guess flirting. But then when I think about it, I'm like, I'd rather be at home with my boyfriend, or I can flirt with him at a bar. Like, you know, like it, I don't know.
I was going to say, like, most times, like, when we go out, people don't know that we're dating.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, a guy will be like, oh, that's a cute girl. And I'm like,
Not
"Yeah,
really,
that's
but okay, thank you.
I'll be like, that's my girlfriend. I'm like, what?
I've had girls come up to me and they're like, oh my gosh, that guy is so cute. And I'm like, isn't he? And they're like, yeah, like, oh my gosh, I should go talk to him. I'm like, well, that's my boyfriend. They're like, oh, you guys don't even like hang out at the party. I'm like,
No.
well, yeah, we don't have to.
Yeah. This,
So that's the face value. You know, those girls, they only see the face value of Carson. Those guys only see the face value of Eillee.
yeah.
If you had to convince them that, if you had to convince those girls that Carson is not the guy that they think he is, what would you say to him? What are some of his bad qualities that only you know of?
He walks very slow.
Oh, come on.
No, he does.
Come on, there's
drives me
there's
insane.
more to me than that.
No, that was just, I'm just starting with the small ones. Terrible at timing. Baseball is his life. He loves baseball more than anything.
More than you?
Sometimes I would think that, because it's like everything revolves around baseball, even a lot of conversations. And it's something for 6 years has like frustrated me, but at the same time, it's also, he loves it, so I love it. But sometimes I'm like, just take a break. Like, not everything has to revolve around a sport. And so that's one thing. And a lot of girls probably can't handle that. They want a lot of attention. And, I mean, I do too, in a way. That's what people want in a relationship. But that's a big thing we argue about.
Do you fear for his mental health after baseball, considering it's such a big part of his life right now? And it's going to be over. I mean, if he gets drafted, it could prolong after this year, but there's a chance it's over after this year.
What do you mean fear my mental health? Like, I won't be able to cope without baseball?
I mean, I was just asking the question from her perspective, but I mean, it's been such a big part of your identity for your whole life. So, I mean, and then it's just going to all be over.
But
all of it.
But that's going to the sunk cost fallacy of, oh, I'm so invested, let's keep going. And
No, it's a valid question.
Yeah, let's see what Eillee has to say.
So I used to think yes. I'm like, it's consumed so much of his time in life. And in a positive, I'm not saying it's a negative thing, but I think even when he's done playing, he won't be done. He's going to help coach things. He's going to join a league. If we have kids at some point, he's going to coach that. It's never going to be done, and I think because of that, it's going to be okay. If it was completely cut off from his life, yeah, I think he'd be a little stir crazy.
Couldn't the same be said of you? You played football all your life, and then you just dropped it like a hot pocket.
Yeah, and I think I went through a struggle, finding what was my purpose in life. Because, this kind of goes back to our last conversation. Kids in America, and I was one of them, put so much into sports and athletic success. And I did that in high school. Football was my life, man. I lived, breathed, and died that shit. And then it's just taken away from you. And now you're like, what am I supposed to do now? So I did go through a long journey. I took a year off of school, to kind of figure out what I want to do with my life. And, I'm still kind of figuring that out. That's why we have this podcast now. But this is the next step to that. But it was a journey. Do you ever think you're going to have to go through that? Or?
Yes, but the thing that I have that you didn't is I have a girlfriend. I have a job line. Sorry, I don't mean that. I don't mean that bad. Like, hey, like I got girls you don't like. Like I have a girlfriend. I have a job lined up. Like I kind of baseball and the rest of my life kind of are going on the same track, and it was more of let's see what runs out first.
So you have a family business that you're going to take over.
Yes.
Eillee works for that family business.
Yes.
I do.
You guys are going to get married.
Yes.
Do you want her to sign a prenup?
Oh, man. Oh, this is going to be a good one because I know the answer to this.
Yeah, I do.
So isn't that in some ways like
insulting? Yes.
Yes.
It really isn't. Trust me, Eillee's and I love is super strong, but they said it's strong right now. Let's give it 10 years and let's reevaluate.
Okay, two things. One, I feel that signing a prenup is setting a relationship up for failure because it's like you're almost preparing to end. I do see it at some point. Two, do you realize a prenup only protects what money you have before marriage? So you're going to walk out with not much if we sign this shit.
No,
$35 from poker tonight.
Yeah.
No, and I'm aware, and you can renew prenups. That is a thing. Second off,
we're not renewing shit.
Oh yeah, and second off, what was the first point that you said?
It's like basically preparing for a relationship to end.
Oh, so you drive without car insurance.
Well, you legally have to have that. You don't legally have to have a prenup.
But you see why insurance is a thing, right?
So
well, if I didn't have to have it, I wouldn't.
You think there's a chance you guys break up and that prenup will come in handy?
It can, yeah.
So there's a chance you guys break up.
Right. Well,
there's always a
there's
chance.
always a chance.
I don't see it happening.
Same
he might
here.
see it more
Same here.
because
No.
I'm signing a prenup.
Same here, but say if you have house insurance and all of a sudden a tornado comes, you're glad that you had the insurance.
What are the potential tornadoes that could come in your guys' relationship?
Obviously, cheating is one of them, but like that's like a tornado happening in Chicago. Like it doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's just a deal breaker for both of us.
Yeah.
So
Cheating is a deal breaker.
Yes.
absolutely.
So one of my honest fears for your guys' relationship,
Mm-hmm.
from knowing you guys for so long, is I don't feel like you guys have been through a real fight yet. Is that a fair assessment? Like there hasn't been a big moment where one of you guys have truly fucked up to the degree where the other one has like threatened to leave. Like you guys have kind of been smooth sailing.
Is that a problem?
We've had one.
One, yeah.
Yeah, at Country Thunder. I mean, we did break up that night, and we
were probably overserved. Oh,
But what was it
you
over? I mean, was
continue.
it just?
I would say Carson went through a period of like when we would drink, he would become almost like mean, not like abusive, but like he wasn't himself. And obviously that happens with I've done it before too, but it was kind of just like I felt that it was happening more and more.
It went further than like the normal.
Yeah.
You know,
And
you
so-
put there's a boundary, and I definitely went past it.
Yeah, and because of that, I was like, I don't even like recognize who you are. Like, you never treat me like this. Like, I'm done. I'm out. And
Did he make it up though? Like, did you guys
he
get over?
did. I don't. Well, we can cut stuff out. I made him promise me 3 sessions of therapy because I felt that the reason for this is that he had a lot of stuff he needed to deal with that hadn't been dealt with. And so I said, 3 sessions. If you want to leave after that, that's fine. But I need you to show that you're committed to, like, helping yourself. And he did the 3 sessions. And
How'd they go from your perspective?
They're fine. I mean, I definitely learned a lot about myself. I talked even beyond like anything. It went more beyond drinking.
Yeah, because that wasn't the issue.
No.
The issue was you had stuff to deal with, and then it was projected through that, I feel
Yes.
like.
What stuff did you have to deal with, if you don't mind sharing to the world?
A lot. I love how you say share it to the world. Go ahead. Put your life on a stage. No, just like OCD stuff. Like I said, I strive to be perfect, and that's something I've come to terms that you're just not. You're not gonna be perfect, and
Have you ever been depressed?
I would say no. I would say I've never been depressed for no reason.
Eillee, do you think he's ever been depressed?
I would say at one point, yes. I didn't know it at the time. It was after the fact that he told me, and that was part of the reason I said, because following what he told me and then the Country Thunder situation, that's when I said, okay, like, you need to try therapy. I've been to therapy. I'm still in therapy. I think it's very beneficial. So that's why. So I would say, yeah, briefly.
Do you corroborate with that now, or?
Yeah, no, I do. I do. I know what she's talking about. Yeah.
And then Eillee, you've obviously struggled with some mental health issues yourself.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Are you still struggling, or where are you at today?
I'm honestly the best I've ever been. I was 9, 10, 4th grade, diagnosed with anxiety and OCD. I couldn't even go to school. I couldn't get out of bed. I was a disaster. And it kind of just went on and off periodically. And then finally, I went to a doctor and I said, hey, I don't think I have just anxiety, OCD, like, because all the treatments we've done for this, it's still coming back. And that's when they said, it's actually bipolar. And so now I'm on those medications, and with therapy, I have actually been living the best I ever have in my life. So,
Do you think Carson helps with your mental health or hurts it?
he absolutely
Both.
helps.
Both.
Where do you hurt it?
It's just another piece of luggage to kind of carry around.
I disagree. I say all the time, and my family says this, and I'm not like a super religious person, but I always say, like, God said, you're going to be crazy in the head, but I'm going to give you this person that's going to come into your life, and he's going to be there for you no matter what.
And that's
through
Carson?
anything, and that's Carson. And I feel like that's why everything's works so well, because he understands me, and never once has he made me feel bad for some of the crazy things I say or come up with.
All right. I mean, I feel like there's a natural question that needs to be asked now.
Okay.
Say we're walking out of this building tonight,
Mm-hmm.
and lightning strikes Carson in the head,
Okay.
and he's dead on the scene.
Okay.
What happens to your mental health then? What happens to you then? What do you do?
Oh, it'd be a disaster, obviously. I think, I honestly don't know the answer to that question, because I always say if Carson dies, I'm dying too, because he's the love of my life. Like, he's the person I talk to the most, I spend the most time with. Like,
You don't think that could be found in anyone else?
I'm sure It could be, as we had this conversation, like,
So it's not special,
it's absolutely special.
but it could be found with anyone else.
No, not. I don't think I could ever love anyone as much as I love Carson.
You haven't tried.
I mean, I guess. I mean, there's that argument. It could go any way, but I just can't see myself finding someone as special as him, honestly. I'm sure I could love someone else, but there'd always be that part of me that's wanting him. Like, for example, my dog died over last spring break. He did.
Sorry.
And it was awful. And he was like my soul dog. I love that dog. I have his paw tattooed on me. Like, he was the best. And I got a puppy. Why is this so funny? I'm trying to make a correlation.
Oh, keep going. Sorry.
So I bought my new dog, Boogie. And I love him to death. Well, everyone else hates him, but I love him. But he's not the same. It's never going to replace what I had, kind of thing. And I think that's how it would be.
So through Eillee's comparison of me to a dog,
It's a simile. Is there a problem?
Do you think she loved that dog too much?
probably.
All right. His name is Bruno, right?
Yeah.
When Bruno was alive, and you had to pick him or Carson, who are you picking?
Well, guys, obviously.
Really? You don't pick
No,
me?
Obviously Carson. But
No,
like,
you don't say obviously.
No,
Because you would have just
because-
said Carson.
no, obviously, but like, you know how much I loved Bruno.
She really is crazy.
I love him so much I gave him diabetes.
Oh, my God. Really?
Carson. Does Eillee lack common sense?
I mean, you've heard the conversation up to this point. Yeah, obviously.
That is a lie, everyone. I think I have so much common sense. Carson lacks it.
You disagree?
What do you mean? With that statement?
Yeah.
No, you don't
Yeah.
like common sense. You like social awareness. Sorry, my bad.
No, not social awareness. Coordination.
No social awareness.
My bad. Like, diagnosed with something that, prevents you from...
Being socially aware.
No, coordination, so...
Social awareness.
Who loves each other more? You gotta pick someone. Don't give me some fucking politically correct answer.
So the thing is, you really can't measure it. It's not measurable. Because guess what? All right,
I love Carson more.
And that's the answer.
Do you agree with that?
No.
Do you think she loves you more?
No. And that's why it's immeasurable.
I said do not give me a politically correct answer. You gave me a politically correct answer.
No.
Who loves each other more? Give me an answer. If I had a gun to your head and God said you have to give me an honest answer to this question, as honest as you can get, or your whole family will die, who would you say?
I love Eillee more.
Yeah, I love Carson more, so.
Right?
Like, physically, Carson loves me more. And mentally, I love him more.
Physically, Carson loves you more, even though he's built like a Greek goddess.
No, not
You
by...
say goddess? Wait, hold on, pause.
What?
You say goddess.
Yes.
As in the feminine version of God.
That was not intentional. I mean,
Really?
No, I don't mean looks-wise. I'm also a little offended you didn't say I was a Greek goddess, but it's fine.
Yeah, I got the Greek goddess, all right?
No, I mean, like, he shows his affection more through, like, physical, like, touch and, like, oh, he hugs me more, kisses me more, like, all that stuff. But
How's your guys' sex? All right, Carson. Are Eileen's boobs too big?
So, no, they're not too big and they're not too small.
well, definitely not. Too
No,
small.
and I'm not a fan of self-mutilation. You want to chop off some of your body parts.
Yes,
You want a boob reduction, is that correct?
I do. Yes,
But it's $20,000.
it is, unless insurance wants to cover it, which I will get a call this week discussing that.
Now, what if I wanted a vagina?
It's very different.
Is it?
I'm not getting rid of my boobs.
No.
I'm making them smaller.
Yeah, and I'm changing sides.
That is a whole different discussion.
Not really.
How is it different?
Because you're not switching genders.
And you're
I mean, plain
and
and
you're
simple.
not a C cup.
Okay. But like,
But like what?
Why do you want them reduced?
okay, first of all, I can't buy a bra under $200 without them being pretty much specially made.
That seems like a you problem.
Do you want to pay for them? It's a lot of money.
Save more money.
Second off, they're big, they're heavy. I've weighed them. They are 15 pounds.
I thought it was 14.
Or 14 pounds, sorry.
Wow, huh?
14 pounds.
Tripping over your numbers here now.
They are
What's the
14
real reason?
pounds.
What's the real reason?
They make me look way fatter than I am because there's 14 pounds of boobage coming out of me. And I can't fit into shirts regularly that I normally would want to wear when I try stuff on. They don't fit over anything. Like, they are a hassle. So I just want them to be a normal size.
Christian,
Yes.
would you date a girl that had a boob job?
Does it leave a scar? Is the scar big or?
Let's say it doesn't leave a scar. I don't think
A boob job or boob reduction, are you asking?
boob job. I would assume it's the
Because a
same.
boob job is making them bigger.
Yes.
A boob reduction is
Yes.
making them smaller.
I'm saying boob job.
Okay.
If it doesn't leave a scar, I guess it wouldn't really matter. I mean,
Next question.
yes.
If she's able to change her physical appearance, what prevents her from changing her personality to try to lure you into dating her?
I'm of the opinion that personality is very fluid and we all change a lot over time. I mean, the person I was 4 years ago is nowhere near the person I am now. And I just think that if you're fixed on a personality, then you are not learning about the world because whenever you get new information, your personality should somewhat change because who you were yesterday was probably kind of stupid.
So what's the ideal personality? For anyone, what is the perfect person?
Yeah, well, that kind of goes along with my question. Like, who would your ideal partner for life be? And that kind of goes with who's the perfect person. Like, what are you looking for in a human?
I was saying perfect person for anyone.
Oh, sorry.
Because
Okay.
there's
Different questions.
Okay, you can answer his
Is
first.
it a one size fit all?
Just for anyone, I think it's just someone who's willing to admit that they might be wrong.
Being held accountable.
Being held accountable, but the worst thing about a person, in my opinion, is when they think that their opinions on everything is 100% correct.
Yeah, I can't stand those people.
That is you.
And I mean that's a lot of people.
So that's me.
Yeah, I said that's you. Sorry. It's not about us. It's about him.
But I mean, I think that the world is ever changing and human knowledge is so limited and we're all so incredibly flawed, and people who pretend like their opinions is like the one fact, that's probably my biggest red flag. So I would just say, what's the perfect personality? Someone who is aware of their flaws and who is willing to change their opinions with new information. Very broadly speaking, the perfect personality. Now, for girl-wise,
Yes. Curious to see this one.
I'm just looking for an adventure.
Yeah.
I'm looking for someone who is willing to, I text them in an hour and they're going to Vermont with me in 2 hours. Someone who's just willing to take on this adventure of life. Because
Okay.
at the end of the day, our time here is so limited.
Mm-hmm.
We can't even conceive of it. I mean, the universe has been here for 13.8 billion years.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to continue happening for billions upon billions upon billions of years after this moment. We are given like freaking 70 years. Like,
Yeah.
it's a blink of an eye if you like zoom out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, I'm really just trying to have an adventure, man.
Gotcha. So, okay, follow-up question then is, are you scared of death then?
I think that's the most fundamental instinct within all humans.
Mm-hmm.
So, considering I'm a human, yes.
Okay. Gotcha. So you want the adventure of life because it's limited, but you are still scared of death.
I think death, because we evolved to survive and reproduce.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, the drive to reproduce and the drive to stay alive is fundamental in everyone. And I think some people may try to like philosophize themselves out of not being scared of death. But I think everyone deep down is. If you have a train coming right at you, everyone is going to jump away unless, they're suicidal.
Yeah.
But, everyone has that drive to stay alive.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I want to stay alive. I want to avoid death. But there is a point where in order to truly live, you do, to some degree, need to approach death.
So you're walking the fine line.
Yeah.
Kind of. Okay.
You're trying to get as close as possible to death without dying.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
that's the ideal life, in my opinion. You
Yeah.
ever heard the Tim McGraw song, Live Like You're
dying? Yeah.
Great song.
That's the
yes.
ethos of it. Because, it's someone who had cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and that opened up their eyes to how short life is.
Yes.
None of us get out of this alive.
So why waste it with a girl?
That's a question I should be asking you. I'm the
Yeah, I
single
was
one.
gonna say,
Because obviously we see life a lot different, right? If you're so much about trying to find the true meaning of life, isn't it fair to say that the true meaning of life is individualized? So why would you try to make it dependent?
well, he said reproduction is one
Yeah.
of them.
That's a good question. But the thing about the individual is the individual is gone in that 70 years that we're talking about. I think to truly find meaning to life, it's to extend your impact on the world past your 70 years, past the individual. And the only way to do that, or there may be
Polygamy.
multiple ways.
Polygamy.
No, but
yeah,
reproduction, having kids.
Yeah,
and then your
polygamy.
kids live beyond you.
Polygamy.
And then your kids have kids, then their kids have kids, then their kids have kids, and then you leave an impact on the world, on humanity, far past your life.
Polygamy.
I think that's where. What do you say, polygamy?
Stop
I'm
just
saying-
saying polygamy.
I'm saying polygamy, and this is going to be the name of the podcast is polygamy.
Because you said it 20 times.
I'm going to say it 20 more times. You want to spread your seed, right? Let's get crude with it. Polygamy. You want to spread your seed. So why wait? Say if you have either 20 girls or one girl, why spread your seed to the one girl when you can just do it to 20 girls? Now you have 20 kids at one time. You're increasing humanity.
Can I interpret what I think you meant by this
Oh,
before
God.
you answer?
Yeah.
I think what Christian is saying is he wants to meet someone that has the same values and then spread that, not just spread it around to everyone in the world.
But if his values get big enough, they'll pick it up. Also, they have his hereditary genes. So that means they have some of Christian's mind because that is hereditary.
But we talk about the nature versus nurture all the time.
Yes.
And I think that.
What's more? Sorry. Keep going.
But yeah, I think I'm going to answer your question
Yeah.
right here. I think that with humans, we are much more able to break free from the genetic blocks. We're able to break free from our genetic jail, right? So the nurture really does affect us.
Oh, I could play.
So,
I could play
I
a
think
center in the NBA.
I think
Oh, I can't. Can I? Because I'm 6'2".
maybe not physically, but I think mentally. And I think
Mentally.
raising that child and leaving an impact on him, through raising him is probably more valuable than having like 30 kids who don't know their dad, and probably because they don't have a dad, they live a shitty life.
So you're not a fan of sperm banks, are you?
How is that connected?
Yeah.
I donate to a
Spreading
sperm.
the seed.
I donate to a sperm bank once a month.
So that's you're passing your genetics, but you're not passing your influence. So
So you don't like that?
I think it's a combination of passing your genetics through time, but also passing your influence, and whether that's influencing your kids or influencing the world in general.
Yeah.
I just think very generally, the meaning to life is making an impact that will last longer than your life, and whether that is through kids or impacting the world, whatever way possible, doing it through some lens of impact is the meaning of life, in my opinion.
All right, now you're leading to a very wide open question right now, and just with the timing of it will make sense. What do you think Osama bin Laden's purpose was? Because he checks all the boxes that you just described. Has kids, left a meaning impact.
Yeah, but I would argue that it was a negative impact.
Yeah.
You want to have a positive impact on the world, and I think he was disillusioned by a religious dogma where he felt that his religion told him to kill people who did not believe in his religion. So I think that the impact he left was a negative one. And I think it's about a positive impact on society. What does that mean? It means adding to the totality of knowledge, whether that's, through in a specific field, adding something on, just doing something.
Just making it better than it was before.
Yeah, it'll last longer.
Going back to Osama bin Laden, he made the air travel a lot more safe.
Yeah, but by killing.
And I'm not. I want to make.
So are you advocating for human sacrifice?
I am not, and I want to make it very clear to everyone that I'm not an Osama bin Laden fan. But I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate here. Of he did change the way of how we live life. Unfortunately, like obviously those lives that he took from us will never be back. Obviously. And God forbid that ever happens again, but he did have an everlasting impact on our way of life, our way of society.
I get what you're saying.
And you are right through human sacrifice.
Yeah. And I don't think that his intention through what he did was to make air travel safer.
No.
I think his intention was to kill as many humans as possible and cause as much chaos as possible.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sure, the end effect may have been, some positive, but I think the majority was negative because we lost lives.
And he
100%.
wasn't intending to make that beneficial change. That just came because of it. But
No, totally agree. Like I said, I'm not advocating for Osama bin Laden here. I want to make that clear.
So, yeah, I mean, I think the goal is to intend to leave a beneficial and good impact on the world, and that hope that manifests itself to reality. And, obviously we will not be here to see what happens when we die, but, we can do the best we can given the knowledge we have at this moment. And that's all anyone can ever do. I mean, we're all limited to our current understanding of the world. So
it kind of going back to the human sacrifice, would you say that there is any benefit from like human sacrifice? If its sole meaning was to send a message that you supported?
That's an interesting philosophical point. And I mean, that was the justification for Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you kill innocent lives with the justification that you're saving more innocent lives in the future. The only problem with that, though, is most of the evil that has been done throughout human history has been done by people who thought they were doing good. So when you allow that framework to happen, okay, we have to sacrifice some people to do this greater good, it sets a very dangerous precedent for bad actors.
Yeah.
And that has happened all throughout human history. So I think you just need to draw the lines very clear that human sacrifices are wrong. Even though, I mean, in some deep philosophical arguments, sometimes they could be justified. If you allow that justification sometimes, it sets a very dangerous precedent.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, Eillee loved her dog so much she gave him diabetes.
Well, it was accidental.
Can we hear that story?
I used to just give him a little bowl of whatever I was having.
BS.
Because yes,
BS.
I did.
I want no.
and over
BS.
time, he ended up
I've been there.
getting
No.
a little chunky and ended up diabetic. So
And died of it. You killed your dog.
oh, I didn't kill him, but I won't call anyone out on who did. We'll
You
just
killed
say
your dog.
someone forgot to give him his insulin for a week and
Why
then
do
he
you
died.
need? Why do you need the insulin? This is a very
Because he was a diabetic. My dad's diabetic too. That doesn't
Yeah,
he's
and who's
gonna
responsible
die.
for his insulin?
himself.
Exactly. Who gave himself diabetes?
The surgeon did actually.
The surgeon?
Mm-hmm.
Explain.
Surgeon that made him septic. He had a surgery. They nicked his intestines while doing the surgery on his pancreas, causing him to become septic, and therefore his pancreas shut down. Yes, are there external factors that may have contributed? Yes, but the real reason is from the sepsis.
Eillee,
Yes.
how much do you love Carson?
A lot, with my whole heart.
If you had to prove it to me right now on this podcast, how much love you have for Carson, you have to convince a jury of 100 people, and 100 of them have to vote that she loves him with all her heart. You have to convince them all right now. What are you doing?
How do you prove your love for someone? I mean, there's like,
If you don't, Carson dies.
then I'll rip my heart out.
Do you love him so much you can cry?
Yeah, but not on the spot. I can't be like, I love him so much.
Try. Think about how much you love Carson. See if you can cry.
I know I can't.
Do it.
I couldn't cry for anyone, no matter how much I love them.
You don't
Like,
cry?
just on demand. No, I don't cry very much.
Carson, when's the last time you cried?
When I was heading back to Mesa, I was visiting Eillee.
Why?
I just burped. I hope that's in earrings, right?
I had a very bad experience out in Arizona, and it was like the stars aligned for me to see Eillee, and then I barely made my flight, was able to come back home, got to spend just a night with her. That's all it was. I spent the money to just spend a couple hours with Eillee, and then it was over so quick, and it's like living in hell. You get to see heaven, and then it's like, yep, back to hell. It's like it's literally seeing like the most beautiful person you've ever seen in your entire life for the first time, and it's like you don't know how to react.
What would you do without Eillee?
Wandering.
You think you would find someone else?
Probably not.
Probably not. So you would die a widow.
Probably widower. Yeah.
A widower.
Yeah.
So do you think Eileen's your one person in the world, or what? Must we remember that you guys both grew up in the same town and were the same age?
No.
Say your parents found a house in Elburn instead of Winfield, and you and Eillee never met. Would you guys still fall in love? No, because you never knew her.
Yeah. Let me dissect what you just said. If we never met, then yeah, because geographics do play a huge part of it, but we did meet. Now, geographics and history also play a huge part of who you fall in love with.
So you guys get on me for like not having my person yet.
Yeah.
But how do you guys know that you guys are each other's person when you guys have never really even dated anyone else?
Geographics and history.
Because, well, first, I have dated other people. And no one's ever
Like in middle school?
Oh, in high school.
Freshman year? Yes.
Freshman.
We started dating sophomore year, and we're about to get married.
Yeah, we've broken up before, and we saw other people, and we were just like, no one meets like what we had. And why would you give something up that's so good to take a risk to meet others?
I'm not saying give it up. I'm just asking, how are you so certain? It's like a guy eats vanilla ice cream every day. And
Calling my girlfriend vanilla ice cream.
I'm just saying, just the analogy. And he starts a campaign that vanilla ice cream is the best ice cream in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to marry this vanilla ice cream. I'm not even going to try to date a girl. I'm just going to marry vanilla ice cream because that's all he's ever known. How do you know when you have nothing to compare it to? Question goes to both of you. How are you guys so certain that you guys are the one for each other?
How does it feel? How does it feel that you've never had ice cream then?
Oh, good answer.
Well, I have. I've been in a couple serious relationships.
We might have a vanilla ice cream relationship. But you're the one without a spoon.
I think it's just like nothing's ever made me happier than Carson has. That's the answer. And I'm not going to give up something. And yes, maybe there's someone out there that can make you so happy. He has checked every box and beyond what I ever thought I would want in life.
But you love him so much, like you're saying.
Yeah.
But if he makes out with a girl at a bar, you're done with him forever?
Yeah. Because I don't condone cheating.
Is that just like a scare tactic? Like you're just trying to deter him?
No. Because in my opinion, if we love each other as much as we're saying, we wouldn't make out with someone else at a bar.
Do you agree that when you are under the influence, you make decisions you wouldn't normally make when you're not under the influence?
Not cheating. I might do a somersault in the Papa John's. Done that. I wouldn't do that sober. But would I make out with someone? Absolutely not.
So you love Carson, but you don't love him enough to get over him cheating on you?
Oh, I would still love him. The thing is, by him cheating, it shows me he doesn't love me enough. And that's where I like, okay, then I'm done. Because you didn't love me enough to go ahead and make that decision. And I think when people say, oh, I was drinking, I didn't know what I was doing, that is such bullshit. And if you get to the point of drinking that you don't remember that you're dating someone, then maybe you shouldn't be drinking.
Do humans make mistakes?
Yeah, but that's a big mistake.
Humans make big mistakes. Do you not forgive people who make mistakes?
Not cheating. No. I think cheating is...
So you don't love Carson enough?
That has nothing to do with loving him enough.
You're saying
It's
that there
him
is
not loving
there
me
is
enough.
something he could do in a split-second decision
Yeah.
that would make you never want to see him again.
Yeah.
Because it's not in my personality.
Yeah. He would say the same thing about me. We have this pact. If either one of us cheats, then we're done. Because it's showing the other person such a low level of respect. And it's almost even worse if you make it unconsciously than doing a conscious cheating, in my opinion.
Why?
Because it's like you went out and got to the point where you couldn't even think for yourself enough to do it. You know what? In my opinion, if you fall in love with someone else, screw you, but go have a happy life. But you're going to fuck up everything we made for one decision because you had too many drinks. Like, that is more insulting than anything to me.
This is what I truly fear for you guys. And I know we kind of already talked about this. But neither of you has made that big mistake yet. And
we
humans,
never will.
but humans are flawed. We are not gods.
We're
We
both
make
flawed
mistakes,
humans.
but humans make mistakes.
We've
Okay.
made mistakes. We get mad at each other, but we don't
And something,
cheat on each other.
something to the level of cheating may happen. It may not be cheating, but it may be something else. And how do you guys know that you guys will get through that if you guys have never been through it?
Don't make it.
Yeah.
There's people that drive without ever getting a ticket.
I guess they found true love and we're all else fucked.
Yeah.
You guys got anything else or what?
That's all I got.
You'll die alone.
You guys made us all feel like shit.